Hi all, I'm back from my weekend away at the Insomnia Gaming Festival, and what better way to start the week than pack 10 of the Agora Models release of build the Porsche 917kh. Look at the size of this box. Absolutely ginormous. We've got a big piece of bodywork in here. I don't think this is going to be as fiddly as the other ones that we've been doing, but you never know. I haven't even opened this yet, so we're going to see that together. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link down here to the Agora Models website. You can get this all the way from pack 1. But without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Let's get cracking. Now this is all going to start in stage 73, which I've got here. We're going to be mounting the fuel pump on the right chassis plate. So as you can see, this is what the plate looks like. This is metal. I'm going to put that to one side because I'm going to be taking this pipe and I need to cut some sections from it. I need a 50 centimetre section. Now all of these squares are 50, did I say 50 centimetres? 50 millimetres. So that's a 50 millimetre one done, and I need a 90 millimetre one. So again, oops, that's 90 millimeters is there. So the longer fuel line that we've got, bringing over the metal base here, you'll see underneath it here, we do have some nipples. I'm just going to be taking the longer one and putting these over the top of these nipples. Now they do fit quite tight, so I don't think I'm going to need to glue these. So one in that side, and then one in the nipple just over the other side here. Put that to one side now, because I'm going to be taking this mounting bracket here and the fuel pump, and this is going to be going into that. So we have it this way round, a D-shaped hole, push that in like that, and then the smaller pipe that we created looking like that is going to be going on the bottom nipple of this fuel pump, getting that in like that. Bring over this plate again, and again we've got a little D-shaped hole just at the end there, which is going to go into the same hole on here. So I'm pushing that in. So that sits in like that. And then where we plugged that first fuel line in, there's a nipple behind it. That's where this one's going to go. Probably going to need my tweezers to put this one in. And once that's in, it should look just like that. Now this next stage where we're putting these wires together, this is one of these metal wires. I always have problems with these because I too tend to find that they slip out of these metal things here. So I am going to be putting a bit of glue just on this end. So as you can see, I have put a spot of glue on here, and it doesn't need a lot. I'm just dipping this into the end here. Bring over this metal section and then kind of screw it in so that the wire goes all the way in there. There you go. And obviously when that's set, that's not going to come out. Now at the other end, we've got to put this little plastic nozzle. And again, I am going to just touch a bit of glue in this end so that it doesn't come out the other side. Because believe me, these are the things that normally fall apart when you try to put them together. And that's one completed cable there. All I'm going to do then is take the end of this and push it into the nozzle coming out of the fuel pump there. And just let it go off in that direction like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 74 here, we're going to be making the battery and we're going to be fitting that onto the plate. So the first thing to do is take the battery base, looking like that. And I've got two terminals to put in here. Now these terminals do have lugs at the bottom which are going to help align these. So one's going in this way. And we've got the other one just going in the other side here. So they look like that. We are going to hold these in with some LP screws. Now these are very, very tiny screws. So I am using my very small screwdriver, as you can see there. And get them into place. So that's one. And do the same on the other side. And then when we're happy with that's in place, we can actually put the battery cover just over the top. Again, we have got some lugs underneath which are going to line this up and push that in. So we can see that from each side there. Bringing over the metal bracket that we're working on, we've got a plate to put in, which the battery's going to sit on. That looks just like this. And again, we have got some locating lugs for that, which we're going to be pushing this in. That sits in like that. Get the battery, and that's going to go over the top. This way round, so the terminal that's in the middle is facing this outer section here. And push that down. And we do have 2 other parts left over here, but that is all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 75, we're going to be building the fuel filler neck and the second fuel pump. So let's get all of these out. And the first thing to do, 2 parts of the fuel filler neck here, we're just going to be putting those together to make one section like that. That's going to be held in these holes here with AP screws. We have the base of this section to put on now, which is this plate here. It's going to go in this way. Now, as you can see, we do have a little locating lug, so we can only put this on one way. Then this whole section, just holding it together, is going to go into the tray here. Probably best to put this in first, actually. So we're going to be putting this in the correct way, which is that way there. It should sit in lovely on that bit. Take the fuel filler cap. That's going to go in there. And it's going to be held in from the underside just with an AP screw again. Got that here. As you can see, I can screw that nice and tight. So that fits into place like that. Now we've got 2 rigid plastic breather pipes here. They're going to go into the holes at the top here. And they're going to connect into the holes that we've got down the bottom here. So I'm just going to line the longer one up first. That's going into the base here. And into the top of the filler pipe just here. There you go. Looks like that. And then the smaller one is just going into the other side. There's a hole at the bottom. And then into the hole on the side of the filler pipe. Very impactful. That looks like that. All we got then is to put the cap just on that filler. So we've got the base here and the handle, which I've just dropped. That's going to go into the end here. It's just a push in. I might just top that in a little bit of glue again, because it was quite a loose fit on there. So that's the cap done. And then the cap just pushes on top of this filler pipe here. Now the protective shield that we had in the last stage, which we didn't do anything with, it's now time to put that in. So we've got a little D-shaped pattern that's going to go in here. And it's just a push in. And then I've got another fuel line here, which looks like this. This is just going to go into the nipples that we have left. So one is going to go onto the plate just on this side. There. We can take the other fuel pump just here and push it into the plate that we've just pushed in. Like that. And the other side of this fuel line that we've just attached is going to go to the bottom nipple just here. Now you've probably seen that some of these leads are coming out, so I have just put a tiny bit of glue just to keep them into place. And when they're in, that should now look like that. I'm now going to get the car, because that's going to go into this side here. Now when we put this in, we want to make sure that this shelf here fits underneath this bracket here. So as you can see, once it's in, it should fit nice and flush just in there. Now we're going to screw that in the underside here with 2 BM screws. So I've just put it on its side here. One screw is going to go in here. We are going into metal. So just through the battery box there and into that plate. And then the other one's just into this framework here. Make sure we don't pinch that switch wire. And that will get the other side in as well there. So as you can see, that side's now in place. Now these shielded fuel lines, which are going from the back of the engine from this side round to the other side, we need to put those metal sections just on the end here. They do come in this pack here. Once again, I am going to put some glue on the end to keep these into place. And these are just going to be going onto the nipples on the side of the fuel filler cap here. So I'll hold one up, use my tweezers, and they should push themselves through so they can go on the back of that section there. And that one's 2. And now you can see why I've glued those in, because if I hadn't glued those, that'd be a lot harder to do. Just put the car to one side again, because we do have another fuel line here to create. So once again, a little bit of glue and put this metal sheath on. Perfect. And then the other end is just going into the other side of this metal sheath. So we've got another piece looking like that. Bring the car back over. And you remember this Y-shaped adapter we had in here? I'm about to just take this out from where it's held into the side of the frame here. Just like that. Because the two leads now that come from the fuel pumps, I'm going to plug the one we've just created here into the other side, are going to go into that Y-shaped adapter. Now, chances are they're going to fall out of these ones when I try to put it in. I'd rather that happen. I want to get these in first. So probably best to actually disconnect these and then do the same technique of screwing these into those metal sheaths. So as you see, I actually took mine out to mount them in. They've been glued in as well, so I can actually put this back in again now. Just like that, and then it's a case of just putting these back on the fuel pumps. And there you go, that's how that looks, that's how that should go in. And then we've just got the support bar here, which is just going into the frame, the larger end here into the frame, and the smaller end into the plate here. Perfect. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Now, stage 76 here, we're going to be fitting the right wheel arch. We've already done the left one. So the first thing I've got is the brake cooling duct here. That's just going to go into this indent here. And again, there is a locating lug, so just locate that up and push that into position like that. Bring the car over here. And just like we've done on this side, this one's just going to go on the other side. Remember, the front section goes underneath the plate we've just put in. So it sits on just like that. Now that's going to be held in with IM screws just here and one on this side just over here. I think I'll get that one in first. That should line everything else up. And then all we've got is the 4 on this side. And as you can see, that's now in on the side camera. We've just got to attach from the underside there with some different screws. BM screws this time. They're just going to be going here. Get the centre one lined up and then they'll all go in, no problems at all. I'll turn that back over so you can see what that looks like. But that is all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 77 here, we're going to assemble and install the spare wheel. And that's just a case of taking the upper rim here, pushing that in that side, making sure it's all the way into the cavity there. Perfect, nice and flush. Turn it over and put the other side of this in, lining up the holes. So that's in like that. I'm going to hold that all together with BM screws and get these in as tight as you possibly can. Now we're going to be putting this into the car, so this strap should be this way round with this little detail here facing upwards. Hopefully you can see that. Bring the car over. I'm going to move this bracket out the way here. And they want this going under all of these cross sections here. Got the tweezers to feed this to the other side. And they want it wrapped around this bar just here and tied on. Now I'm not going to tie mine. I'm actually going to put some glue on here, wrap it round and then cut off the excess. I do think that will be a little bit tidier. Just tightening that quite tight until that glue sets. Perfect. See? Lovely and neat that is. I can just cut off that excess. All I've got to do then, put the tyre in to where it's going. Slots in like that. Bring this over the top like this. And then it's going to go to each of these posts that are going this way. Once again, I'm going to put some glue on them. I don't want to tie it. I like it to look neat on each side. So I'll get this in and show you how this looks. And there you go. When that's in place, it should look just like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. In stage 78 here, I'm going to install the front brake cooling jackets. Now you will notice we've got these chocks here. Now this is what's used to display your vehicle, especially while you're working on it, to stop pressure when you push down, braking the suspension. I've never used these on any of the builds, so it's up to you if you use them. Basically, when the car's over, let's bring it over here, you'd be slipping them under the sides here and putting them down like this. But that's what those 4 chocks there are for. What I am going to be doing is putting these brake cooling jackets on. And these are just going to go onto the tyre. So the bent end is going to go onto a massive plug at this side. I'm going to get this one on first. Very difficult to see, I have to say, but you'll know you've got it on because it will hold itself in. Might help to turn the wheels. And then the other side is actually just going to rest like that. So again, probably best on this camera over here. It's going into the sheath there, resting just down the bottom there. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So when they're in place, they should look like that, and that's all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 79, we're going to fit the front wheel arches to the front floor panel. Get these out. And basically these are going to be attaching to the 3 points we see here. So this one's going to go over this side like this, just into there. And then the other one is going to go into the other side just here, like that. Now these are going to be held in with IM screws. This also has got the other job of keeping the breather pipe in place when the wheels turn. So that's one in place. I'm just going to do the same on the other side. And as you can see, a nice simple stage, that one, but they're now in place. Which means we've come to the last stage of this pack. You're going to love this. Check this out. This is absolutely ginormous. This, let me zoom the camera out a bit here, is the main body of the vehicle. So let's get this out and show you what this looks like. Look at it. And check that out. That is absolutely brilliant. Look, on the close-up camera there, paint job is brilliant. Now, if you look at size compared to me, wow. Now, what we do have to do is obviously they come with these support bars just to stop it warping in transit, so I'm going to get that off. Now, I am holding this in my hand to do this because people are going to say, why haven't you got your part work upgrade mat down? And you're absolutely right. But it's just a quick thing to get these off. And then we don't actually do anything with this one, but we've got to have a go, haven't we? We've got to have a go to see how this would actually fit over the car. So I'm guessing it's going to go over this section here, and it's going to kind of look like that when it's on the car. You can now see how this is actually starting to come together. I don't want to pinch those headlight wires in there, but look, it's nice and flush on there, and that's giving you some idea of how this is going to look. But what a way to finish this pack. Absolutely brilliant. Now that means we've only got 2 more packs left to go, pack 11 and 12, so they'll be coming soon. But I'm sure you'll agree that was quite a fun pack to do. I really do hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.